Hi guys, welcome back on another session, guys, on the series of maps. So, guys, here again we're gonna be continuing from the previous video that I've uploaded on how to read maps or to read strip chart maps. So here we go. Now here I'm going to look at another question here. Now here it says at the top, the strip chart with road distance in kilometers from Windhoek to Springbok. So this is the strip chart between these two places, Windhoek and to Springbok. So quickly, and then I want us to look at the questions here. The questions are here at the bottom very quickly, and then we're gonna come back and analyze this uh, trip chart, the strip chart. Okay. Here are the questions here. Right, the question, or the statement here, it says here, the tip here studied a strip chart connecting Springbok in South Africa with Windhoek in Namibia. On Annexure G is a strip chart showing road distance in kilometers from Springbok to Windhoek. So now this is use Annexure T to answer the following questions that follow. So that's what they are saying here. So now we're going to look at this Annexure T, which is the strip chart, or which is a strip map. So and try to analyze it based on what is given here. So from the previous video, you remember that if you read the strip chart like this one, usually it has two distances on its side. So you have this side, you have the distance that is recorded this side, and also you have the distance that is recorded this side. So the two distances are very important that you are able to analyze them correctly. And then here, the distance on this side, it starts from 0, and it increases as we go down on our left hand side as we go down. So now on this left hand side, therefore, the distance, it indicates the distance from Windhoek, which is here in this point here. This point here is Windhoek, which is this place here. So from here going down, if you'll be driving from here, starting point is this one, going down, and then you will end up getting here at Springbok. And then the distance, if you are reading it this side, it is increasing. This side it increases a distance, indicates a distance from Windhoek to Springbok. But when you come to the other side, therefore, the distance on this side, it indicates a distance from Springbok to Windhoek. So if you look at the two distances, they are exactly the same. Starting from here going up is the same as the side going down. So the distances are the same. And also we have some key information here at the bottom that we need to analyze. But here before that is also we are given a compass, therefore. So that means as we're going up here is we're facing the north, but if you're going down, and then there is the south. So definitely then we have other points there for you that you know already. Then we have your east here, we have your west. So and then this would be your south. So that's the information that is also given to us. And then coming down now here at the bottom, we have a key. So these are the symbols that we are provided with here. And here it says N, a symbol N or P. What do this represent or describe? This one, they describe what the national or highway roads. So as you can see here, so this N and with this sign here combined together, they represent what the national road or the highway road. So as we can see, we have N7 and N14. These are national routes, and also I also given average speeds that you can use to travel on those roads here. So if you are using national road, the speed limit it is 120, and also we have symbol C. And the symbol C it goes together with this icon here, and this represent what a gravel road. Then on a gravel road, the speed limit it is 80 kilometers per hour. And also we have this also another symbol here, or now this symbol here represent what? Places of interest. So these are places of interest. And also here this is note. B1 is a national highway in Namibia. So now you remember that this road connects two countries. So this road N7 connects two countries, South Africa and Namibia. So we have a border here. We have a border here. Remember very well, then maybe you've watched the previous video, you're going to notice that this is a continuation from the previous question that we did, whereby it was talking about Cape Town, traveling from Cape Town, and then you're coming to Kettman's here, this place here. So we did talk about that, but now this one is just more like a continuation to that. We're gonna look at more questions that are similar to this on the next video, and then I will try to maybe you can also watch the next series, and then on this one, the next episode. So sharp. Now since we have now analyzed this, so we can all see that the larger part of this strip map, here, it is more from this side. This site is in Namibia. Yeah, this site is in Namibia, and then the smaller portion from South Africa is starting from here and it comes here. It ends here on Springbok. So that is then here we have a border. So if you're traveling from Springbok, you're starting from here, you're going to Namibia. So from zero, then you can see that the border is if you are living from if you start from Springbok to come into this border here. So now let's get into the questions, guys. I don't want us to waste more time. Now let's get into the questions. If we want to look at the questions here now, since now we've tried to analyze this. Oh, okay, but let's get into it. Let's get into the questions. Now we have done now studying the strip chart. So now the question that is asked here, which is 5.2.1. So this question here it says, state one difference between a strip chart and a normal route map. A normal route map. So a normal route, you know, a route map, yeah, refers to that. So now, what's the difference? What one difference that you can find that is between these two? Something that makes them to be different. So now I'm just going to state the difference for you. I'm going to state this difference. But what you can also do for me, before maybe we can answer this question, I can answer this question. Try to give me your own response. Write it down and answer this question as like you can see them here. And maybe take a screenshot of the of the map. Yeah, just let me just show all the questions here at the bottom. I'll try to show all the questions here at the bottom. So yeah, here are all the questions here. So you can take a screenshot of this question, and then maybe let's go up again, and then look at at this map here. And and also take a screenshot of this one, and then try to maybe sort of try to answer this question before maybe we can answer them. Yeah, just do that for yourself and then sharp. Now, but now we're going to answer this question together. Now let's continue. Now, if you are done now doing answering this question, now you can press play and then therefore and then check if your answers they are similar or they correspond with this one that I've written here. So now the first question says state one difference between a strip chart and the normal route map. So the difference between the two is that a route map, um, usually it is drawn to scale. A route map is usually drawn to scale, so they do have a scale. Like it's either they will use what a numerical scale, or you're gonna use a bar scale. So if you're using they have this they have scales like these ones, you know them. So while on this strip chart we don't have a scale, because there already, remember, we are using the actual distance between 2 points. So we have actual distances here, using actual distances because it's already in kilometers. But here you have to deal with conversion. So that's what makes it. That's one difference that you can find between a route map and a strip chart. So this one, it does not have the map here are not drawn to scale. And then the other difference that you can also find between these two, a route map usually is also the route there are winding. They are not straight. They are not straight. So while here on the strip chart, the route of this one, they're in a straight line, horizontally and also vertically. So that's another difference about this one. So a route map, usually you will see it. Yeah, you'll see it. It's random, like it's moving like this, like it's not really straight. Like in Mapacon, it has also those landmarks. Also has landmarks. We find that it has a starting point somewhere, and then it ends somewhere there, and then it passes somewhere. There are bridges and all that stuff, but it's winding like that. But what's one a strip chart map? It's usually the routes there are straight. They are straight. Yeah, vertical and also horizontally. So that's the difference that you can pick up on, the difference that you can pick up between these two maps. And now getting on then into to the next question now, 5.22, determine the distance between Springbok and Kobabis. Yeah, Kobabi, I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. So what is the distance between these 2 points? So we need to look at Springbok. Where can we find Springbok? Here. So Springbok, we have already identified it earlier on. Here is Springbok. Springbok is here on this point. Here we are already in this point. So now we need to get into Kobabis. Therefore, where's Kobabis? So the distance from here is 0. If we're going, we want to use this side on the right. So the distance from here to this point, and then I'm sure that point that I'm looking for is somewhere at the top. Yeah, let's look at it like this. So it's here. Place that we're looking for is here. It's here. So if it's in this point, therefore that's where we're going. So remember, the distance that is written here is vertically, is a vertical distance between this point here, between these points and this main road from here. And then meaning from here to Windhoek, the distance is it's what it is 892 kilometers. But if you want to get to this point, that means from here you need to travel another distance and come to this side. So it's gonna be vertical up to this point to this point. So we have 2 points here. So if you want to get to Kobabis, therefore you need to travel north and east. Yeah, that's how you can travel that one. So the distance is in 2 ways there. So I hope you have took note of that. So the distance between those 2 points, therefore, is going to be from Springbok to Vinwood. Therefore, the distance it is about, just I'm going to write it here, it's going to be around 892 plus, and then the distance from Vinwood, I've already checked it there at the top, is going to be 203, and then you add those two, therefore you'll get 1,000. Okay, let me try to enlarge this a little bit. Let me try to enlarge this a little bit so that hope you can see what I'm writing here. So this is going to be 1,095 kilometers. It's 95. That one is 95. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Kilometers. So now that is your answer for this one. So I'm sure you saw that. So it's a distance from here, and then getting up here to this point here is going to be this one. Then you add this 203 from here to this point. That's where we are getting to, and then this is our destination. Okay, sharp. Now let's move on to the next question. Now, the next question says, identify the Namibian town found on the border between South Africa and Namibia. It's a town, it's a Namibian town, it's not a South African town, it's a Namibian town, but it's found just near the border between South Africa and Namibia. So now let's look at that. So where's the border? Here's the border line here, the border cross. So here's so where's the border here? So now we need to find a town that is a Namibian town. So this one, as we can all see, these are the towns. In fact, these zero things, these round things. You must note that they are not added here, but these zero things, then these things are the towns. So now the Namibian town, therefore, that we have, therefore, is going to be this one is north. Something the weight there. So which I cannot pronounce. Okay, it's not the one something. Let me just write it down here for you. I'm sure it's Afrikaans. I don't know why Namibians they have Afrikaans words. So yeah. So that is the the yeah the town that is on Namibian sound. But if it was a South African town, therefore that's on the board, it was going to be this here, this one here, which is something like that. You can read it yourself. Just write it down. Just put it down. Just don't worry about pronouncing this way. So now let's get into another part of the question here. And the thing that we're going to look at now is 5.2.4. It says here, Letitia undertook the following trip. So he undertook the following trip. So now let's look at the trip itself. Now they are saying she left Solitaire at 4. This is they're using a 12-hour format time here. This is a 12-hour format time. That means this is morning. And then it says and traveled for 140 kilometers south on C14. Remember, C represent the gravel road. Yeah, C represent the gravel road. Don't forget that. So this is the gravel road. So now let's look at that. He traveled 140 kilometers. Okay, and also and then they say she then turned right and travel 289 kilometers east on C C19, which is also another gravel road. And then from there at Marienthal, she turned, then drove to Caitman's Walk and arrived at 12:25. That was the arrival time. From this time, was the departure. Okay, this was the departure time. Okay, departure. Then this was the arrival time. Then this was the arrival. It's arrival time. I hope you can all see that. But now, what exactly now are we required to do here? Are we required to do what exactly is expected of us? So now let's read the question now. The question says here, this is the first question. Calculate the total distance traveled during this trip. We have the traveling distance. So now if we look by so far on these 3 points, we're given the first distance there. So the total distance is going to be this. We're going to say total distance, then we're already given 140, and then we're also given 289 kilometers, but we're not given the distance at Marentan. Yeah, at Marentan, then from here to Kensman's Home. So we're not given that. So we need to look for that distance therefore from this point. So we're gonna go back and try to read this part now at the top. We're gonna go back and look for this distance from the last point. All right, I'm gonna start again. Now we're looking at at the at the map. So you remember that they say that the lady started from this point, started from this area, started from this town, and then they say that he traveled 140 kilometers south, and then south it is going to be this direction. So 140, if you add to 18 or 60, therefore this from here to here, it's 140, guys. From here to there is 140, so it's 80 brothers. That's not 140. Then from there, the second dot, the second bullet, it says that remember they said that he turned right, so he turned right, he turned in this direction and traveled about 289 kilometers east. Now this is our east, so he traveled to this direction. So he traveled around 289. So if you're gonna add the distance from here to there, is that 289. My bad. That is 289. So that's what we were given. So the last, when it got here, this is what we were looking for. The last part, distance from Marental to Catman's Hope. So and from here to here. So what's the distance here from there, from these 2 points? So because they said he came here to this point. So what's the distance between these 2 points? Or what's the distance from here? You can read it from here, also here. It's the same point. So because it's vertically from here coming to this point using P1. So what's the distance between the two? So the distance between the two, you can use this side, subtract the two distances here. There. That means we're gonna say 644 minus 427. Therefore, this it will give you uh, around around 217 kilometers. That's what you're going to get. And also this side, if you're going to use this side, so you're going to separate these 2 points here. So you have 400 here. That means you're going to say 465 minus 248. So therefore the distance therefore is going to be 217 kilometers. So it's the same distance from there to there. From Marrington to Caitmanswood, for the distance is going to be 217 kilometers. So now we have already calculated now. So now we can also edit. So we've added this 40, we've added this one. So we need to we have already find the distance for the town, which is what is 217. Therefore, if we add this, so the total distance we are expecting it to be 646 kilometers. So that is your answer for 5.2.4a. That is your answer for that one. Right, we're going to move on to the next part of the question. And now, they say now, Latvian travel on different types of road, and she maintained the average speed limit prescribed for these type of roads. She stopped 3 times during the trip to take a break. Matilda stated that the three breaks were approximately 25 minutes each. Okay. Each break in this three, it was 25 minutes each. And now this says verify with calculation whether Matilda's statement is correct. So we need to verify the statement if it's correct. They say you may use this formula. Time is equals to distance divided by speed. That's what we need to use. That's what we will have to use therefore. So now we are given the roads here. Are given the roads here is C14 and C19, but we're not given the road for the last point. So the road here is between Merental to Caitmanswood. So now what's the road there? The road there, we've all seen it. The road, it is the main road. Is this one, is P1. And then the speed there on this is P1. So we can put P1 there. It is the main road here on this last one there. It is P1. So now if it's P1, therefore we're gonna check something also here. The speed limit on P1 on P is what? It's 120. On the C's, on the C, the speed is how much? It is 180. So now, given this type of information, now we can use it to calculate the time taken between these 2 points. So now, so on the first point, so you're given the distance and the speed you are given based on this route. You're given the speed. So because they're using C, remember the speed here is going to be at 80 kilometers per hour. So now what will be the time therefore? And then the time for this route, therefore, you want to use the time. Time is equal to distance, which is what? It's 140 divided by the speed on this road is what? It's 8 kilometer per hour. Just leave the unit for now. So what will be the average time so that will be spent on that road? Therefore, if you divide, so I'm expecting you maybe to get around 1,75 hours. That's what you're going to get. So now also here we have the kilometers, we have the road. The road is also C, so we're going to get the same same speed there on this road. So now what would be the time here traveled on this road therefore. So it's going to be distance divided by speed, which is the distance is 289 divided by the speed on that road, which is 80. So now how much are you going to get in terms of the speed here? In terms of the speed, therefore, I remember we're answering this question, guys. Answering this question, don't. And please read it twice. To answer, in order for you to understand this question properly, you can pause the video. Yeah, just pause the video and try to read the question twice so that you can follow what exactly is happening here. And sure, definitely this is gonna make sense maybe at the end. By now, maybe might be probably we lost what's going on. Why are we looking exactly for time? Because in this question, the lady here mentioned about she talked about time. So he says approximately spend about 25 minutes for each for each break that they took. And remember, this it also affects the time of arrival, because if they never took any break, it would have maybe got arrived there earlier than 12, earlier than 12, the 12 that was mentioned on this bullet here, number 3 here. So because of these breaks, therefore, it means that they took longer. But now let's look at how we can solve this problem to verify all these claims. Don't worry. So now, if you divide here, I'm sure you have already done that now. How much are you going to get therefore? So assume that you're gonna get around 3,612 hours. So that's what you're going to get. Then can leave your decimal maybe around 4 to 5. This is not the final answer, so just leave the answer of decimals there. And now, what's the distance between the dead point here, the dead bullet, between Ketman's Hope, and then from between Ketman's Hope and Marantain, therefore. The distance we already calculated in the previous question, which was 2. We got 217 because they were using the national road. So therefore, the national road, therefore, speed of quantity was what 120. So you're gonna divide this by 120. Therefore, how much did we get? Therefore, so we're gonna get, if you divide that, you get around 1,80833. I think there's many trees there. So we're gonna stop maybe on this one. Yeah, this is 1,8033. So now, so these are the times of traveling. Remember, this one they don't include the breaks. These times they don't include the breaks. You need to also think of the breaks. So now I'm gonna come to these breaks here. So for the breaks that they took, therefore, let's come to this time. We stay that in this break, therefore, 3 breaks and then for around. So what would be the total time of the breaks, therefore? Yeah, the total time of the break. So the breaks, and then because there are 3 breaks, so times 25 minutes. So this it will give us a total of how much, therefore it will give us 75 minutes, which is more equivalent to, let me remove that part. It's equivalent to how many hours? It's equivalent to 1,25 hours. Then therefore, the most important part, the crucial part is must convert this, must learn how to convert this. So how to convert this? So this is hours. So you remember that, guys, when you're moving from hours to minute, and then second. So you're moving from big to small, u multiplied by 60 here. And then moving from minute to second, you multiply by 16. Then, but here we are moving from minute to hours, so we divide by 60. So that is why we get this 1,25 hours if we convert this minute to that. So also this one also true. Divide by 60 minutes. So I'm gonna just leave it there. And that's how I've converted this time here, this minute into hours. So now, so the total time spent on the breaks, therefore, according to what you said, is this. And then now, meaning that if they travel this, therefore, if we have to calculate the duration, the time that they use driving, therefore, the duration, so the duration of the trip, the duration. So what would be the duration of the trip then? Sorry, yeah, just there. I wanted to write duration there. And therefore, we're gonna put all these times. Therefore, we're gonna add all these times and find out how much the duration time that they travel. So we're gonna add from this part. We're gonna add this one first. Add that one. That is 1,75 hours plus just add 3,6125 hours. Then we're gonna add it with also 1,80,833, and therefore how much. And then we also maybe gonna add also the time for the breaks, and then all together. So now how much does it give us therefore? And then this is gonna give us a total of, if we add everything, therefore it's gonna give us around 8,420833 hours. And then this, if you break it down, this is a 8-hour full. And if you're gonna break this one into minutes, find out how many minutes that are there. So this will gonna be, that means gonna be 8 hours full. Then to get the minutes of this one, therefore it's gonna be 0,420833. Now we're gonna convert these hours into minutes times by 60. So therefore this is gonna give you 8 hours and 25 minutes. So that is the duration time if they are traveling from those from his time of departure, from the departure time of departure, which is 4, and then to 12. That means they would have traveled 8 hours and 25 minutes. That's what. But we didn't use this time. You remember that we didn't use this time. We just used the traveling speed. The traveling speed or in kilometers to find the traveling time of driving, and also we also find the time of the breaks. Therefore, this gives us this duration. But now to prove then if this is true, because we're verifying. So remember here we have added also the breaks here. So this is what it's gonna take. So now we're gonna prove this now by subtracting now the two times that we have, the departure and the time of arrival. So we're gonna find also duration. So and see if these two they are the similar. So if they're not similar, therefore it means that his claim is invalid. So now what we're going to do now, we're going to subtract the two times. The arrival time and then you subtract it with the departure to find the duration. Now let's do that. So now what we're gonna do now is more like this. You're gonna say the arrival time it was 12:25, then subtract this by this. So you're gonna subtract like this. So when you subtract, this a minute, and then you say 25 minus 0, therefore this it gives us 25 minutes. And then 12 minus 4, therefore this it gives us what? 8. So now, therefore this it confirms, therefore these two they mesh. These two they mesh using the time that we were given, that he left at this time and arrived at this time. So the duration time, it is what? It is exactly 8 hours and then 25 minutes. So it means that her claim, therefore, it is valid. So we have verified, therefore. So now we can say, then at the end, you say tilde, tilde claim is valid, guys. Yeah, it's valid, and that's the end of your question. But then I will try to do it this one in another way, another method, so that maybe you get the different ways of solving this question. And I will try to, and please make sure that you check the link, and then I'm going to upload another one, and then on how to solve this similar question. And yeah, you want to look out of another video and then from there. Thank you very much, guys. Make sure that you like and share and subscribe and then to this channel if you find it useful. Thank you very much. Yeah, see you on the next one. Sharp sharp.